What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we're going to talk about the upcoming incursion raids. So we have some additional information on the incursion raids, and that information is really going to dictate, on how you play Marvel Strike Force. So some of the characters that we used in the past are going to be completely shut down by this new system of raids that we have coming up in the near future. So in this video we're going to break down exactly which characters are going to be destroyed, they're going to be turned into dust, and which characters are going to be able to remain in the raid meta. So as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Let's get started, let's take a look at these. Before we start, quick reminder, make sure you check out the YouTube channel. We are uploading tons and tons of videos per day, and we have some videos of the bugs going on right now on the Nova Scourge, in case you want to unlock your Nova at 4 stars. In case you are curious on how Nova performs in raids, yes, Nova in raids, there is a video also with that. Then we have the future of MSF. It's looking more and more colorful than ever, and if you guys want to see my full run on the Scourge, just to unlock the Nova at 4 stars, this is my run, and it has a breakdown of all the nodes, and as you can see it only lasts 26 minutes because it was so great. Beyond that we have some stuff about Cosmic Crucible, but that's something we're going to talk about in another video. Okay, so first off we're going to start with the lanes. The lanes are very confusing. From what I understand, we are supposed to use 3 players and then 2 players here, so this is somewhat confusing. And we start off with some mutant nodes. On the other side we start with a cross section of tech. So this is another stuff that is confusing. Like, we have this cross section, then we have the linear mode. I guess some people will start here and other people will start here, and then you will go up. Interesting. So these raid maps are very strange. And then you have a final boss. So you can see it says mutant, bio, skill, mystic, and then on the final boss we have a biotech, skill, mutant, and mystic. Does this mean that we can use one of each of those, or like a combination of each of those characters, or does this mean we can use whichever team you prefer? It's definitely going to be interesting. We are back to the old system of Ultima 7, where you had a massive boss at the end of the raid. Let's see if it's going to be interesting or not with the delivery. Okay, taking a look at the restrictions of this new raid, or the recommendations to participation. It seems like there are no restrictions. So in the past we had the Doom at 3.5, it required the Isolate Bull level 4, then they removed that restriction. It seems that we don't have any restrictions on this one as well, but it's quite massive. So level 90 Gear T15, abilities at level 7, 5 red stars plus. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any of these. My Rebirth team, my Invaders team, they are way smaller than this. So I actually wonder if I'm gonna be able to participate in these raids. If you guys want to check that out, we'll be live on Twitch and on YouTube at the same time. So you can use whichever platform you prefer. On Wednesday, this is when the new raid started. I'm gonna be on a new alliance where it will be managed by me, with Shaftmaster, and also with Michael, the guy that does the data mine. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, because that's gonna be super exciting. Okay, so beyond that we don't have like any crazy restrictions, but the recommendations, they are quite high. So we'll see if you're gonna be able to do this even with smaller teams than the ones that are recommended. Okay, so these new raids, they are going to have restrictions, they are going to have modifiers, they are going to have like Scourge-like mechanics that will change how the teams perform. And this is how they are going to shaft a lot of old teams and improve some of the new teams. So we're going to break down all the information so you can understand which characters you're going to be able to use and which characters you are not going to be able to use. So let's take a look into that. So the first one, we have Bio Lane. Unstable Serum. On enemy characters crit, clear 2 charges from the player characters. So bio characters with charge, if I remember some right now, we can take a look at Red Hulk, for example, right? And other characters with charge, actually, oh, She-Hulk also has charges. Other ones I don't remember, but we have at least those 2 characters with charges. So I guess the developers don't want us to use Gamma in raids. What a surprise. Now, Nova, he also has charges, but it's only one charge, so I don't think it's really gonna matter. Either way, let's take a look at the rest. On a player character dodge, enemies gain death proof. So if you are using any web warriors, if you are using any kind of symbiotes, which of course no one is using, but if you were, that means that your symbiotes are going to be shut down because, I mean, they are giving buffs to the enemies. So if they have characters that benefit out of death proof, like File of Vel, that's going to be a huge benefit to the enemies and a huge problem for us. On enemy players block, clear one random negative effect from that character. So this is going to help out characters with block chance. Which characters have block chance? We have Captain America, we have Nova. Nova has a lot of block chance. Cosmo and Korg, they also have a lot of block chance. Then we have, of course, Captain Carter, we have US Agent, and that's pretty much it. But any characters that are together with Nova, they are going to have tons and tons of deflects, and that means they are going to have block chance all the time. So to be honest, you can pretty much use any character here as long as you have Nova, but of course they want you to use the Rebirth team. That's pretty much it. If a character player has any negative effects, that character dodge chance is reduced to 100. So symbiotes and web warriors, pretty much game over. They are not going to be able to dodge anything, and this pretty much shuts down web warriors. If you are investing still on them, forget about that. I told you a long time ago, don't invest on the web warriors anymore because they were never good, especially outside of raids, and yeah, it's pretty much game over for them at this point. Okay, let's take a look at the tech lanes. So let's prepare the tech lanes. We're gonna take a look at them, and this is gonna be some huge problems. We're gonna take a look at the tech lane. Huge problems coming to the tech characters and to Bionic Avengers. Experimental nanites. On ally assist, heal self and all enemy characters by 5% of these characters max health. So which characters have assist right now in game? So when you take a look at the tech characters, there are a few characters that have assist mechanics. That's going to be Vision with V-Vision, both of them have assist mechanic. And then we have Iron Man and Hulkbuster. Iron Man, long time ago, we already removed Iron Man from the equation. We have been using Kang replacing Iron Man. But at this point, if you are still using Iron Man, like, bro, like, you need to change. You need to change. You are wrong if you are using still Iron Man. And beyond that, Star-Lord also brings some characters assist. Then we have Ant-Man, also calls characters for assist. But let's be honest, no one is using any of these characters. But yes, we have two different set of characters, V-Vision and Vision, Hulkbuster and Iron Man, that are completely shafted based on this because they are going to be healing up the enemies all the time. There is no amount of damage that you can output that will overcome all this healing. On enemy characters end of turn, clear all barrier on all player characters. So once again, Bionic Avengers, bye-bye. We have Hulkbuster giving barrier with his special, with his ultimate, with his basic, with his isolate attack. So Hulkbuster, bye-bye. So Iron Man busted, Hulkbuster busted as well. Beyond that, we actually don't have many characters with barrier, but that also tells us that don't bring any characters with Fortifier. In the past, used characters like Star-Lord with Fortifier to give energy to other allies, and that's not going to be the case anymore. So it's going to be a huge problem because you're not going to be able to theory craft as much as you did in the past to solve these kind of problems. On a player character's turn, clear defense up on that character. So once again, Bionic Avengers, bye-bye. So we are destroying Vision, we are destroying Kestrel, we are destroying Shuri, we are destroying Kang. All these characters gain a defense up, all these characters give defense up to other allies. Even Doctor Doom, he also gains defense up and with his bots. And that's pretty much a game over for them. So I'm very curious which kind of team we are going to get in the future that does not require defense up to play in these raids. It has to be like some ridiculous amount of turn rewinds or blinds or anything like that to be viable, right? It's quite insane. But yeah, all the characters that give defense up, they're going to be shut down because yeah, you cannot have defense up. It pretty much says on player, it clears the defense up. It's crazy. Okay, let's move on to the next section. We have the skill line, interdimensional combat training. On enemy characters crit, apply disrupt to all player protectors. This is going to be, it's not a big deal, and the reason why it's not a big deal is because we don't have many protectors on the skill section. It's actually laughable that we have this kind of thing. I guess they are trying to do this because of Captain Sam. Bro, if you are not paying attention, we don't use Captain Sam for the taunt, and even if he has taunt, if you apply disrupt to him, that's fine, it doesn't matter. We're gonna use Nick Fury, his minions will taunt a lot better. But beyond that, we don't have many other protectors. I cannot even tell anyone. I guess Kingpin is gonna be shafted as well. He's also a protector. But no one cares about Kingpin for his own buff. So, well, I don't know, we'll see in the future, but it definitely shut down a lot of theory crafting. I think the characters that are going to be mostly affected is, once again, Kingpin and Captain Sam. Okay, moving on to the next restriction, we have enemy characters clear to charges from all player blasters. Okay, so this is actually a positive one. This is actually a positive change. This means that characters like Union Jack and Bucky Barnes are going to have their passive abilities active more often. So when you lose all charges on Bucky Barnes, he's going to get 50% additional turn meter, and that means he's going a lot faster. This is actually something terrible. It's terrible because Scopely is nerfing the characters because they already know the characters are going to have these buffs in the specific game room they are designed for. And this is terrible because that greatly reduces the viability of the characters in other game modes, and that greatly reduces the flexibility, the theory crafting that we can do with the game. It's getting more and more cookie cutter, and that's quite disappointing. Yeah, it sucks to be the who brings the bad news. Okay, so beyond that we have one more. Enemy characters cannot have a defense down, minor defense down, offense down, or minor offense down. So this is actually quite problematic because invaders, they rely on offense down. Like Captain America, we rely on applying offense down to the enemies to reduce incoming damage. So I cannot imagine what kind of design the nodes are going to have that allows for such a weird setup. On top of that, this mechanic is also countering characters like Sharon Carter and Castle. So you cannot apply defense down to the enemies, you cannot increase your damage output. Now, characters that were not shafted at all was Shang-Chi. So yes, Shang-Chi is still going to be part of the raid meta if you feel like it. If you prefer Shang-Chi instead of Bucky Barnes or whatever, you can use it because he has no restrictions based on everything that we just read. Let's move on to the next one. We have the mutant line. On spawn, apply offense up to all enemy brawlers and blasters. Okay. On spawn, apply taunt to all protected enemies. Okay. On spawn, apply regeneration for 2 turns on all support and controller characters. Okay. And then, when an enemy character gains bleed, apply energy to a random ally. So this is going to be interesting to use the Dark Beast here. Finally, we have on player character Apocalypse turn. That Apocalypse gains speed bar and gains charges. So that means if Apocalypse gets attacked, he's going to be able to apply stun to the enemies, and he's going to go super fast, right? He's really going to go super fast. And let's be honest, Apocalypse, he counters all of these. But it's the big boy Apocalypse. So these raids were designed to use Dead Seed with the big boy Apocalypse. This is going to be a huge deal. This is going to be a huge deal because yes, most of us, we only have the baby Apocalypse. Until we have the big boy Apocalypse, we're going to struggle immensely on these mutant nodes. This is very, very concerning, and we'll see what happens on Wednesday. Okay, so I don't think we have to take a look at the mutant characters. We all know which characters are available on the mutant line. Let's take a look at the mystic line. Unbound Dark Magicians, and I don't have my blue eyes here to counter this, but here we go. On enemy character's turn, clear revive once from all player characters. If revive once was cleared, generate 3 ability energy for self and all allies and clear all barrier on all player characters. So this is telling us that unfortunately it is the time to end with Dormammu. Is it? I'm not sure if it is. So characters that have revive once, we have Dormammu applying revive once to the entire team. Then we have also Adam Warlock with revive once and Spider-Man Noir with revive once. Beyond that, we don't have many other characters with revive once. But in particular, Dormammu, this is going to be a major shaft for this character, or maybe not. While we cannot revive the characters, having this additional energy on spawn will guarantee that our abilities will be available turn 1. Now, what's important is what happens next. Let's take a look. Player characters cannot have stealth applied to them. Okay, that's fine. I'm not really sure who's this going to affect. I guess it affects Darkhold because they go on stealth when they go below certain health threshold. In that specific case, I can see it happening. So yeah, it's not a big deal because very few people were using Darkhold on raids. Now, we have enemy characters cannot have blind applied to them, and this is huge. This is really huge because that completely destroys Cloak and Dagger. So I made a video recently, Cloak and Dagger back into the raid meta. Are they going back? Are they going to be the major team once again, together with Deadpool and together with Gwenpool? It's not the case. So Cloak and Dagger completely destroyed in terms of the meta. It's terrible, I don't know how to say, it's disgusting, but yeah. So the characters with the raid tags that got reworked recently are not the characters that we are going to use for raids. So what are we supposed to use? I think they want us to use Dormammu, I think they want us to use Spider-Weaver, I think they want us to still use Eternals and Morgan Le Fay, maybe Deadpool for energy, but yeah, so this specific ability, it stops blinds, but it does not stop the accuracy reduction. And with that extra energy at the beginning of the match, it's going to be guaranteed that your Spider-Weaver will start with full energy. So maybe the team is going to be Dormammu, Morgan Le Fay, Spider-Weaver, Deadpool, and some other 5th character. Quicksilver, maybe? Maybe it's gonna be Quicksilver. We have to wait and see, but yeah, these restrictions are very complicated because they destroy so many of the teams that we were using in the past. Except the Eternals. I guess the Eternals are still fine. The problem with the Eternals is that their damage is very lackluster at this point in time, and yeah. A few months ago, I spread a rumor that we were getting a new Eternals team. Is that gonna happen? It seems more and more likely that it will be. But yeah guys, that's gonna be the video with all the restrictions for the new raids. It's gonna look very interesting. We're gonna be live on Wednesday on Twitch or on YouTube if you want to see these firsthand. As soon as the event starts, we're gonna drop those new raids and see exactly what we have to do in order to beat them, unless they shaft us with the new raid mechanic with the keys, because we still have the problem with the keys. But we have to wait and see, and that's all for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.